This is a business in the public eye at the highest level. I honestly can't wait to see a single Barack Obama. If they do get divorced, I think single Barack out on the town is going to be quite entertaining.
Breaking right now, growing concerns about the state of the Obama's marriage as even their largest donors walk away amid rumors of marriage turmoil. And of course, that marriage turmoil broken in a lot of detail by Jessica Reed Krause of the House Inhabit Substack, who reported on this growing speculation that Jennifer Aniston is in some ways involved. But let me take you through the Mail article about the money, because money is, of course, incredibly important, especially for Obama, who is currently in the process of building his presidential center on the south side of Chicago. But the Mail reports that at least some of the donors the couple had turned to over the past few years are now backing down. Among them, Amazon chief executive Jeff Bezos and Airbnb CEO Brian Chesky, who bailed the Obamas out in 2022 with $100 million each, boosting the year's total to more than $300 million. But there has been new reporting here from the Daily Beast as well, showing that fundraising has nosedived by more than 50%, according to IRS filings. And a source who was a donor told the Daily Beast of Obama, he's arrogant. He didn't help others when they were trying to fundraise, and so they're not going to look out for the Obamas now. There are no quid pro quo because it's a one-way street. And this has been a very difficult time for the Obamas, Link Lauren, because of course we have the situation where she didn't show for Jimmy Carter's funeral, which was highly unusual. Right. At this point, we already knew that she wasn't going to be attending the inauguration. Some people thought that was her way of proving that she was part of the resistance against Donald Trump, and maybe she would end up running for the presidency herself, even though she's already ruled that out. But the fact that she didn't turn up at Jimmy Carter's funeral when Jimmy Carter is a Democratic president has really raised the speculation. Then, of course, we've had people like Meghan McCain admit that in Washington, D.C., it's just an open secret that these two are leading separate lives. So what do you make of this? Is this the end of the Obama dynasty?
Well, let me go point by point. Number one, the fact that money is not, going toward his presidential library anymore, it could be simple because most kids I know, they aren't reading. I mean, I don't see a lot of people reading books. Everybody's on their iPads, their iPhones. So I know he has to have a presidential library, but I don't know if anybody's going to go visit. Number two, as for their divorce, I'm not sure. Obviously, I'm friends with Jessica Krause. We're quite close friends, and she's been reporting on these, alleged divorce rumors for quite some time. But I think Michelle Obama and Barack Obama are like a lot of other political couples where this is a business, right? Like Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, at the end of the day, do we love each other and have some mutual respect? Absolutely. But this is a business in the public eye at the highest level. I honestly can't wait to see a single Barack Obama. If they do get divorced, I think single Barack out on the town is going to be quite entertaining just to cover as a journalist and cover from the outside. But I hope their marriage is okay. I don't wish any ill upon them. And I hope that Michelle Obama's health is okay. There have been rumors that maybe she's laying low because of some health issues, but she should be safe as long as she doesn't go paddleboarding with her husband. She should be quite safe. Nonetheless, though, I wish their marriage well.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because of course, we've got to be careful. We saw what happened with Catherine, the Princess of Wales, where people were spreading the most awful conspiracy theories. She was dead. She was being abused. And in fact, she was secretly suffering from cancer. At the same time, though, Link, there's been lots of opportunities here for the Obamas to set the record straight in some way. I guess what's interesting is it's a bit like the Clintons, isn't it? Will they make a decision that actually they are better and stronger together, even if it's not a functioning marriage? Because, of course, the Clintons haven't had a functioning marriage since way before he was president. But in fact, for the brand, they might as well have just stayed together and Bill does what he does.
Absolutely. And I mean, Barack Obama doesn't have the same charm or the same riz that he did years ago. I mean, Barack Obama used to be this cool guy, the leader of the Democratic Party. Everybody in the Democratic Party wanted to be like Barack Obama. I really felt when he was out campaigning for Kamala Harris, he was an utter calamity. I mean, the video that was taken off the cuff of him in some back room scolding young black men for not supporting Kamala. He's like, she's like you, she's one of us. You guys, we got to get the brothers to show up and vote for Kamala. Why should they go vote for her? Why should they go vote for someone who's overseen the worst immigration crisis in American history and run the country into the ground just because of her skin color? I'm not going to just vote for someone on the basis of sex, gender, skin color. Same way I wouldn't just vote for someone because they're gay. You got to be excellent. And so I think Barack Obama really lost it on the campaign trail with Kamala. He was also pushing several hoaxes that he knew himself were not true, like the very fine people hoax. And he was on stage pretty much slinging whatever he could to stop Donald Trump from ascending back to the presidency, and it didn't work. So Barack Obama, I'm not sure if there are even going to be a lot more deals for them because they don't have the popularity that they used to have. The Obamas aren't this iconic political couple like they used to be. They just don't have the same cool factor.
No, indeed. And that's been something that's really fascinated me over the past few months is that it feels like the Trumps are the new Kennedys, at least looking in, because the Democrats would always have hoped that, yeah, there would be a Clinton dynasty or an Obama dynasty. But in fact, when you look at the Trumps and you look at how they've brought RFK Jr. into the mix, but also a whole load of other fascinating people, glamorous people, it is almost like Mar-a-Lago is now the same. It sort of holds that same resonance as the Kennedys used to.
What's interesting is, especially after the election on November 5th, all the world leaders were descending on Mar-a-Lago. Everybody who was anybody was at Mar-a-Lago. I called it, the bar on Cheers where everybody knows your name. Everyone's just showing up at Mar-a-Lago to have dinner with Donald Trump. But he is that cool guy now. He is the top of the heap. Other world leaders either revere him or fear him, which is a great place for us to be in. And, as for his family, I think he will have a family legacy of sorts. I am sure Donald Trump Jr. will run for office at some day. I think Ivanka Trump could run if she wants to. Lara Trump was just added to the lineup on Fox News. That's really exciting. So I think his family is going to have offshoots like a franchise, and they're going to be, others who pop up. I think JD Vance and some other figures have really benefited from MAGA. I think MAGA as a mindset in this America First movement is something that will carry on, even if it's not a Trump whoever sees the presidency again.
And then, of course, we have, I guess, in some ways, the collapse of the Kennedy dynasty, because the way that family members have turned on RFK Jr. has just been revolting. It's been completely despicable. Now, for folk who don't know, you became a senior advisor to the campaign. You have got to know RFK Jr. well, and you posted in response to Caroline Kennedy's video about her own flesh and blood, which was just revolting. And you wrote, working on Bobby's campaign, he had gobs of support from his family. They volunteered on the campaign, attended events, phone banked. Each time I was at his home, it was full of family. He had a massive birthday party with many family members in attendance. This narrative that his family doesn't support him is simply false. In this video, Caroline accuses Bobby of collecting birds of prey like it's a bad thing. Bobby has taken disadvantaged Americans out falconing many times for charity. We had tons of falconing events on our campaign. The pictures are all online. He even hosted a day of falconing with Don Jr. So much of our campaign was about getting outdoors. Caroline also weaponizes his past issues with addiction. Bobby has grit and authenticity. He has been open about his past struggles with addiction and how he got sober decades ago. We literally made a documentary on addiction and recovery during the campaign. I know because I was on set. I understand it's disappointing for many of his family members to lose relevance, especially the ones who had fancy postings in the Biden administration. I question the veracity of the claims made in this video, as well as the convenient timing. And I loved your post, but I was shocked by the video. How damaging do you feel it's been?
Oh, I don't think it's been damaging at all. I mean, it looks like Bobby's going to be confirmed. He's made it out of committee, as we say here in the States. So it looks like he will be confirmed. I mean, Senator Cassidy was pretty much the one holdout, the one that people were unsure of. And he seems to have come around and had a meeting of the minds with Bobby, which I figured that they would over the weekend. I even said on Megyn Kelly, I wouldn't be shocked if they call each other up man to man and have a conversation about how they can work together at HHS. And it looks like that is going to happen. And I stand by everything I said in that statement. Working on his campaign really changed my life in so many positive ways. I love him. I love many of his children who I've gotten to know, who I still correspond with. I was texting with him a few days ago before the confirmation hearing. I was texting some of his kids because this was a huge full circle moment for all of us who were involved in that campaign. So no, I did want to publicly stand by him. And I've seen, members of his family come out and denounce him. When we were on the campaign, this happened regularly. I mean, his family held a press conference, I believe, with Joe Biden. He was in attendance to endorse him and speak out against their brother. Kerry Kennedy was very vocal against her brother as well. And so I just felt like I wanted to speak the truth. And I don't like when you weaponize someone's past issues with addiction against them. We all have addiction in our families. We all know someone who's either struggling with addiction, and it's not really something you weaponize against a family member, especially one who's been so open. And we did produce a documentary on addiction and recovery, and I was on set. I mean, we went to a boxing ring and filmed there, and we talked to different people. And, he has ideas on how he wants to tackle addiction and recovery. And then the Birds of Prey situation, he likes to go falconing. He collects falcons, and he has gone falconing with members of the Trump family. We held events. So I did want to speak out and speak the truth, but Caroline's comments, long story short, I don't think they'll have any weight whatsoever.
But first, do you know that sleeping less than 6 hours per night doubles the risk of early death? Poor sleep is also linked to obesity, heart disease, high blood pressures, diabetes, depression, and a weakened immune system. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I have struggled with sleep for a while. I had tried everything, but found it very difficult to wind down and actually go to sleep before 2 a.m. at night, which I know some of you is going to think is completely insane. But I'm not alone. The CDC reports that over 35% of adults in the US sleep less than the recommended 7 hours. Many sleep supplements contain melatonin and other ingredients that create dependencies, cause morning grogginess. You know what that's like when you wake up and you're feeling really gross because of what you took to get to sleep. And they also lose their effectiveness over time. So this is why I have started to take Evening Being. There it is, a brand new product by Verso. After 3 years of perfecting the formula, they created a melatonin-free drink mix with clinically studied patented ingredients. It's formulated to calm an active mind, help you fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and improve deep and REM sleep, all without creating dependencies or causing morning grogginess. I actually really look forward to drinking my Evening Being each night before bed, because not only does it help me fall asleep faster without having to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night and wake up much easier, but because it tastes so good too. It's actually become my new nightcap, and it's good, by the way. You can absolutely drink it if you're vegan or if you are on keto. So click the link in the show description or head on over to buy.ver.so/outspoken and use the coupon code outspoken at checkout to save 15% on your first order. I guarantee Evening Being will make you wake up feeling refreshed in the morning. So let me repeat the address: buy.ver.so/outspoken. Use the coupon code outspoken at checkout to save 15%. But now, back to the show. We've just seen those lovely pictures of RFK Jr. with Cheryl, his wife, very talented actress. Of course, Curb Your Enthusiasm is one of my favorite shows. I mean, it's utterly brilliant. And they did everything possible, didn't they? They threw everything at this marriage. And by they, I mean the usual suspects, the mainstream media. You know who I'm talking about. How significant was it that at his confirmation hearing, right behind RFK Jr., was Cheryl sitting shoulder to shoulder with Megyn Kelly? It was quite an image.
Well, first off, love Megyn Kelly being there. I thought it was incredible that she was there. And I love that Cheryl was there as well. And, I don't want to opine too much on the relationship. I love Cheryl and some of my most fond memories of the campaign are when we would meet at his house in the morning and then caravan to an event, and Cheryl would be down there, making coffee in her pajamas, and the dogs are slobbering on you. I mean, this really is a family. But like any family, they have issues that go on behind closed doors. It's just unfortunate that theirs get aired out in public. But no, I love Cheryl, and I think she'll be an asset to him at HHS. She's smart, she's cheeky, she's self-made. She didn't come from anything, and she worked her way up in acting and in Hollywood. And what's sort of funny is like the Matrix I felt was glitching. So 2 weeks ago I was in I was in Santa Barbara, actually, not hopefully running into Harry and Meghan, and I was having lunch outside and I hear this voice at the table next to me. I'm like, who is that? And I turn and it's Larry David sitting at the table next to
No.
me. And so I said to the person I was having lunch with, I said, should I tell Larry that I know Bobby and Cheryl? Because Bobby's been very close with Larry David for years. They used to share a beach house. Obviously, he knows Cheryl Hines. And so I was like, should I take a selfie with Larry and text it to Bobby and Cheryl? And the person I was having lunch with was like, do not bother them. I do not want to get kicked out of this hotel. And I said, okay, I won't. But I just thought, what are the
because
odds?
you can only imagine if he's anything like the Larry David on Curb Your Enthusiasm, maybe that would not have gone down well.
Yeah, I did sneak a picture as he was leaving because, I'm Link at the end of the day. I got to sneak a picture. But I was like, should I text Bobby and Cheryl and say I'm having lunch with Larry David? What a small world. It's very funny.
And Link, you are Link. You're exploding. You're all over social media. Where can people find you and what are your plans now?
Well, first off, thank you for being so kind and having kind words to say. And thank you to your audience for embracing me. But thank you for saying I'm exploding. I don't think people realize I've been hustling and working for a very long time. I was an assistant in the entertainment industry, fetching coffee, getting bitched at and screamed at by my boss, years ago. And I've kind of worked up and worked my way in politics just from my cell phone and having a Wi-Fi connection. So I'm grateful for any opportunity I have. I'm grateful to be on your show, genuinely, genuinely. And where people can find me, you can find me on TikTok, X, Instagram. Apparently, I need to keep building up my YouTube channel, so you guys can go subscribe to me on YouTube. I put all my videos from TikTok and X on YouTube as well, and I have some exciting plans coming up later in the spring as well. So maybe I can come back on when they're
So
out,
are
when they're
you
announced.
just Link Lauren on YouTube?
Yeah, if you just type in Link Lauren, then that's how you can find me on YouTube.
Oh, absolutely. I will subscribe to you there. Yeah, I mean, see, the thing is, you're the different generation. I love YouTube. TikTok, I've struggled with. I'm not going to lie. It doesn't come naturally to me. I'm still trying because I know it's where,
It's tough.
the
It's
young
tough to
people
use.
are, but it's tough, TikTok.
I always say, it's whenever I hear people are trying to join TikTok and get into it, and there have been since the Kennedy campaign, other public figures who've reached out asking for help privately with TikTok. And I have empathy for them because the platform can be very daunting and confusing. You're like, how do I use this? How do I do that? But it's my biggest platform, and making videos about the primary in the spring of 23 is how the Kennedy campaign found me and invited me over to the house to hang out and eat charcuterie. So I really do give a lot of kudos to TikTok. Who knew TikTok would open doors for me? But thank you, and I'm glad it's not banned.
Yet. Maybe it's going to
Yet.
be owned by
Hey,
Trump.
if it bans, I'm a chameleon. I'm like a cockroach. I'm not going anywhere. If TikTok gets banned, I'll still be on here with you, Dan, talking smack and, on Megyn Kelly. So
Well, no,
if
I
it goes
love
away,
it. I
we'll
love it. I
survive.
think you're brilliant. And I know the Outspoken audience are going to love you. So please do come back soon, Link
Thank you so
Lauren.
much.
I've
Thank
had
you.
so much fun today. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.